Tropical Depression 08W also very well could be Tropical Storm Neoguri during the next 24 hours out here in the Western Pacific and Eastern Asia. Right now, just showing you some of the long-range models on your screen, and really, it does look like this storm system very well could impact the southern Japanese islands or the Pacific coast of mainland Japan as we look ahead into the early part of next week. Hi everyone, meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today. We are continuing to track this storm system. Those images I just showed you were the ECMWF and the GFS model outlooks going into Monday and Tuesday of next week. Making this video update on Thursday, the 3rd of June, July, 2014, and we are still watching the storm system. Now, I'm saying likely Neoguri because it really has developed up here quite impressively over the course of the past 48 hours. Taking a look actually at the satellite imagery, and we can see our storm system there just towards the south of Guam continuing to spin up, and it has very decent outflow aloft. We're talking about a lot of these high cloud cirrus tops starting to flow away from that center of circulation aloft into the higher levels. Actually, we can see that much better on the visible satellite imagery, but also in the lower levels, just a clear center of circulation. The convection's really building up around this. It's still sitting in an area of very low vertical wind shear, about 5 to 10 knots, very conducive for tropical development. And also sea surface temperatures are up there. We're talking about around 30 to 32 degrees Celsius. That's just absolutely warm. To put that in perspective, actually where Arthur is sitting in the Atlantic, that's in about 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. I think even a little bit cooler than that, but this one's sitting in upwards about 30 to 32. So this is likely going to be developing much more, and also compared to its cousin that is currently out there in the Atlantic as well, it is expected to intensify rather rapidly. And I'm just going to dive right into the track here because I know that's what you guys want to see. And then we're going to talk about where this is going compared to the model and my thoughts. But this is the JTWC track, and at least at this time, JMA, they only got a 24-hour track out on it, so I'm not showing that to you. This is just their TD outlook going south of Guam, expected to become a tropical storm in the next 24 hours. But back to our tropical storm tracker. Now, this is just a great tool. Please do go check out the website and check it out. They're expecting this to have, well, those winds upwards about 65 kilometers per hour as we go through the next 24 hours, and that would be right around that tropical storm intensity. But as we continue to scroll ahead, let's look out here to about the 6th. So we're going through the weekend. 148 kilometer per hour winds up to 185. We're already getting upwards about typhoon strength. And then as this storm system just brushes east of Okinawa, 176 to 213 kilometer per hour winds in the forecast here from JTWC. This actually quite surprises me, and it does look like JTWC has fair confidence that this may go east of Okinawa, because usually in their long-range models, they typically point towards bases. So you see this kind of little bit off there towards the east, and it does look like most of the model consensus, yes, indeed, we are starting to see this storm system pull a little bit farther here towards the east in the long range. And let's take actually a look at just a few of these in the center line. Remember, this is a center line, not the overall convection. But CMC, No Gaps, GFS, all pulling it off there just east of the southern Japanese islands, coming onshore around Kyushu and Shikoku on Tuesday into Wednesday. So I think the biggest topic, a lot of you are watching from a lot of these military bases out here into Kadena, extending down there through Naha as well. And I do think if this moves east of where you are in that area, that would be actually some good news. And let's take a look at the GFS model outlook. I'm going to show you the ECMWF, the one that I like to use the most here in a second. Let's take a look at the GFS, and this would be actually kind of a favorable situation for Okinawa. I mean, it's not ideal. You have a tropical system right off the coast, but the thing is what we're going to be seeing is this storm system really pulling off here towards the east. That would put you on the left flank, and that would actually bring, well, less winds. There would be a lot of dry air inflow wrapping it around this as it's pushing off there towards the westerlies. So the storm system wouldn't be as bad. Now, you're still going to be seeing gusty winds. You probably go through some sort of T-course out here into Okinawa, but it wouldn't be that bad. Now, let's flip this over, though, to the ECMWF. Now, there's a little bit of a difference here, and I like this model. It's the higher resolution of the models. Let's actually zoom in on this, and I'll scroll back just to 1 or 2 hours. That pushes right over Okinawa, kind of in a very similar fashion as some of the storms last year, and it would go north of Naha, but this would put you right in the eye wall if you are in a lot of those military bases out there, if this was to follow through. Now, this is out till Tuesday, so we still got 130 hours on this model outlook. There's a lot of potential for change, and if it just moved a little bit north, a little bit south, that would change the whole scenario up quite dramatically. But these are some of the things we are looking at this time here in the southern Japanese islands. But like I said, it does look like the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, for the military at least, that's your official agency, has it pulling off there towards the east. Many of the models are agreeing, but ECMWF really is just still trying to pick up on what we're looking at off here towards the west. And that's a very weak tropical wave that's actually heading out there towards the Philippines. It's a very weak tropical low, and you can actually see it on the satellite imagery right in here. Now, I think what some of the models are picking up on is that being a little bit stronger and kind of pulling our Neoguri a little bit farther there towards the west and reducing the effects of the Westpac high. But this thing's not really developing up very much at all. So what we could be seeing is this kind of rotating and moving off there towards the north without that pulling effect of that low here towards the west. So it really is kind of a game, and it's kind of basically a competition between that high and our weak low on when this is going to be recurving. If this does have more of an effect on our storm system, it will recurve farther towards the west. If not, it'll basically pull off there towards the northeast of Okinawa. And at this time, I think that is going to be one of the more plausible situations. Now, either way, here's the other thing I do want to mention, is that what we're going to be seeing with our storm system as it does pull off there towards the north is this continued inflow of moisture coming in around the western periphery of it down there towards the south. And I know I've been mentioning this the last several days. We're still going to be seeing that river of moisture coming across much of the Philippines, basically starting here on Friday through the weekend and into the early part of next week. And you can actually see the date here on the screen there. I want to go ahead and scroll back. I'm going to put our cursor over Manila, for example. And basically already starting here on Thursday, we're going to start to see those showers come through. But as our storm system, we have our weak low off there towards the north, our other tropical developing back here towards Guam. And look at this. It just kind of rakes it in like a conveyor belt, sucking in more like a vacuum, all this rainfall, allowing the storm system to intensify. But unfortunately for the Philippines, it's just going to continue to pump that moisture, and it really just kicks it off. And it just I do think there is going to be somewhat of a flood threat out here, especially areas south of Manila, across much of Visayas, down there towards Cebu, southern Luzon specifically, along the western seaboard. So that's another thing that we're going to continue to watch over the course of the next several days. A few factors coming into the storm system. Beyond that, beyond Monday into Tuesday, I do want to mention this low coming off here towards the north and its possible direct impact for those of you in mainland Japan, including myself, actually. Some of the models really want to take out Tokyo, and I am up here into Tokyo, Japan, if you did not know that, making these video updates. It does look like there is that potential. If the Westpac high allows this to recurve and push it off there towards the north, those into Tokyo very well could see this storm come off in that direction. This is actually a no gaps model right here. We're looking ahead into, that's Wednesday of next week. This comes on shore around the Kii Peninsula and Shikoku, and that would be just a big rainmaker. I would see significant flooding if that did pull through in some areas. As much as 500 to 600 millimeters very well could occur, especially in the Kii Peninsula, if this was all to follow through. There's a lot of speculation. I think this weekend we're going to have a lot more information on this one. If you are into the Kanto area, watch out for it. Much of the Pacific coast of Japan, of course the southern Japanese islands, keep very close eye on this. I know 4th of July weekend coming up, especially for the military out there. Monday, very well, is not going to be a day you want to have barbecues or anything like that. So these are a few things we're looking at. Meanwhile, the Philippines, the enhanced monsoon, it's coming around with this one. Anytime we see the storms this time of year roll through the Philippine Sea, it's almost like clockwork. And that's going to be another problem we're going to be seeing with this. So that is all for right now, everybody. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please post them down there in the comment box below. I know I talked a lot in this update, and there's actually a lot more stuff I did not show you here. For example, the JMA model. I have a few other type of diagrams I really want to go through. So please check the webpage and check the Facebook page. I'm going to be posting all this stuff on there throughout the day. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know, but stay safe out there.